Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. And in today's video, we're going to be talking through some player props I like on Prizepicks for today's NBA slate on Wednesday, January the 1st. It's January 1st, so it's the new year. Hope you guys all had a happy new year. Recording this video on New Year's Eve, the night before. Wanted to give you guys some early props that I did like for this New Year's Day slate. We got 8 games today, so it's a relatively big slate. Got 3 early plays I like, taking a first look at the board the night before on Tuesday night. So before we talk through these plays, as always, if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you guys are new to the channel, and if you are new to Prizepicks, be sure to sign up for Prizepicks. Use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, place your first lineup, you'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account. So be sure to go check out Prizepicks if you guys have not yet. And we do also have a partnership with Sleeper, so I do want to shout out Sleeper real quickly. If you guys have not signed up for Sleeper yet, you can do so using promo code NOAH. Play $5, get $55. That's a new promotion that Sleeper is doing for new users. It replaces their 100% deposit match bonus that they used to do. So, that was a new user offer that kind of would incentivize you to put in more money. So, the more money you put in, the bigger deposit bonus you would get. Well, now this new promotion they are doing is catered more towards people who aren't putting in a bunch of money. So if you want to deposit, $25, which on Sleeper that's the minimum that you can put in, you put in $25, play a $5 lineup, you still get $55 worth of free lineups. It's 11 different $5 lineups, so you'll have a bunch of lineups you can play. You can mix and match stuff, however you want to play it. But if you guys don't have an account on Sleeper yet, be sure to go sign up over there. Use that promo code NOAH. So that way you do get those $55 worth of free lineups over on Sleeper. But yeah, guys, we got some props to talk about for this New Year's Day slate. Now, I do want to recap our plays from Tuesday before we talk through today's plays. So Tuesday was a frustrating day. We gave out 2 props. We went 0-2. The first prop we gave out was an over on Tyrese Halliburton, 26.5 points plus assist. Halliburton had a just really, really bad shooting game, which is something that's happened a lot for him this year. He shot the ball really inefficiently this season, but he's had some games where he's shot the ball well. He was coming off a really good game where he had like 30-something points, but it was not his shooting night. I think he shot like 3 for 12 from the field. He was like, I want to say he was like 2 for 7 from 3 or something like that. Just couldn't get any shots falling. I think he had like 6 or 7 assists. It was a pretty high scoring and competitive game, but Halliburton was just throwing up a lot of bricks, went under his PA, and then we took Mason Plumlee under 17.5 points plus rebounds, which was looking pretty good until the final minute of the game. I think Plumlee, he had 17 PR with 30 seconds left. Of course, the Grizzlies go to the free throw line. They missed the second free throw. Plumlee gets the rebound, which puts him over. He wound up getting also, I want to say he got a dunk with 10 seconds left in the game too. Put him at 20 PR. Felt really good about that Plumlee prop. He got into some early foul trouble too, which cut his minutes down, and of course, still wound up going over in the last few seconds of the game. So super frustrating, man, but we'll bounce back here for the new year. Hopefully we can start off the new year with a win. I do have 3 early plays I like for this slate, guys. Let's go ahead and break them down. So the first prop that I like for this Wednesday slate is going to be a points prop, and we're going to look at Jordan Poole's points prop of 18.5, and I like the over here more than 18.5 points for Jordan Poole. So if you look at Jordan Poole's last 5 games, you see a lot of green here, but I do want to emphasize these games were without Kyle Kuzma. Kyle Kuzma's been out for the last month or so for the Wizards. Kyle Kuzma did return last game. Jordan Poole did not play last game. Jordan Poole's actually been out the last 2 games with a hip injury. He's questionable for today, so we don't really know if he's going to play today or not. I would assume that if Jordan Poole plays today, he's going to play full minutes. I would be very surprised if he plays limited minutes, returning from a 2-game absence. Seems unlikely that he would have to play limited minutes on such a short absence. So if Poole does play today, he should get full minutes. And if you look at Poole this season, he has only played 10 games with Kyle Kuzma because Kyle Kuzma's been out a lot. Poole's kind of been out some games too. But in the 10 games that Poole has played with Kuzma, he has gone over this points prop in 6 out of 10. And if you look at the games he went under, were very tough matchups. He went under against Cleveland, Houston, the Clippers, and the Knicks. Those are all teams with good defenders, with just overall good defensive teams. Well, now Jordan Poole gets a really good matchup against the Bulls, The Bulls are playing at one of the fastest paces in the league this season. They actually are playing at the third fastest pace. The Wizards are playing at the fourth fastest pace. So this is a game that should be very fast-paced and very high scoring. This is also a good matchup just in terms of how bad defensively the Bulls have been this year. They're bottom 10 in defensive rating. The Wizards have also been really bad defensively. So we have two bad defenses going up against each other. We have two teams that love to play fast. Like, this just sets up as a really good game environment, a game that should be very high scoring. And I really like the matchup here for Jordan Poole. The Bulls, really outside of Lonzo Ball, who's going to play limited minutes anyway. Outside of Lonzo Ball, this Bulls team doesn't really have many good guard defenders. Like, Zach LaVine's never been known to be a great defender. Josh Giddey's a very poor defender. Kobe White's never been known as a great defender. Ayo Dosunmu, he's a decent defender, but he's out right now. So this should be a really good matchup for Jordan Poole. He's been playing really well lately prior to his hip injury. Again, he's been out the last 2 games with that hip injury. I think if he returns today, he should play full minutes here. And Poole's been chucking lately. He's been taking a ton of shots. 15, 19, 15, 15, 19, 20, 19 shot attempts just over his last 6 games. Now, sure, those games were without Kyle Kuzma, but even with Kyle Kuzma this season, Jordan Poole has still been taking a ton of shots. He's had at least 14 shot attempts in 7 of the 10 games he played with Kuzma this year. He's still leading the team in usage as well this season, Jordan Poole is. So the role's been really strong. The matchup's really good here. Also, if we look at some sportsbook odds right now, on DraftKings Sportsbook, they have Jordan Poole's points prop set at 19.5, and it's slightly juiced towards the over at 19.5 on DK. It's like minus 125, favoring the over on 19.5 points for Jordan Poole. We're getting his line at 18.5 on Prizepicks. So I like that as our first prop for Wednesday night. Next prop we're going to look at is going to be a points plus rebounds prop on Yves Missy, or I think it's Misi. And we're going to take Yves Misi for less than 20.5 points plus rebounds. So Misi has been playing pretty well lately. He's had some big games. Did have a really big game against Denver, but struggled against the Knicks, struggled against Houston, struggled against Memphis, and then he barely went over this line last game against the Clippers. Misi has had some big games this season, but a lot of those games have come kind of in softer matchups. This is definitely a difficult spot for Misi, going up against the Heat, going up against Bam Adebayo. The Heat have historically been a tough matchup for centers just because of how well Bam can, keep guys off the glass. The Heat have historically been a team that can limit points in the paint. This season, they've been a pretty good team at limiting points to centers. They actually have been giving up a good amount of rebounds to centers, but I don't know if that's something we can expect to continue, because last season, the Heat, I want to say, were like bottom 10 when it came to, limiting rebounds to centers. Like, they did a good job limiting rebounds to centers last season, and they've always been a good team at limiting points to centers. This season, the Heat are bottom 10 in points allowed to centers. Last season, they were bottom 10, or they actually gave up the second fewest points to centers, and that's mainly because of Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo's been a great defender really all throughout his career. Again, does a really good job protecting the paint, protecting the rim. He also boxes out pretty well, and he's able to keep guys off the glass. So I think this is probably a spot where Yves Misi is going to struggle to get those easy rim runs, those easy dunks. I think it's also a spot where he could struggle to get those putbacks, which is kind of what he relies on for scoring. Misi is a very low usage player. He only has like a 14% usage rate this season, which is one of the lowest on the team. He's not a guy that really takes a lot of shots. Like, he's not a jump shooter. He's not a guy that's going to shoot a bunch of threes or anything like that. Like, I don't think he shoots really threes at all. He's mainly going to rely on putbacks, dunks, stuff like that to get points and for him to score. That's what he's going to need to score. And this is a very tough matchup for that. You guys can probably hear the firework going on because it's New Year's Eve night when I'm making this video. Sorry for that, by the way. But this is probably one of the tougher matchups Misi can get in terms of what he needs to be productive. And Bam Adebayo, the Heat are very good at limiting what Yves Misi needs to do. Also, with Misi having to guard Bam Adebayo, that could bring in some foul trouble risks. Wouldn't be surprised if Misi picks up some fouls. Maybe that causes him to hit the bench early. Plus, another thing working against Misi, this game has a big spread. It's a 9.5 point spread. The Heat are going to be getting Jimmy Butler back for this game. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a blowout here. I don't think we can project a blowout, but the spread is at 9.5. This game turns into a blowout, then obviously that's another reason this under could hit. You just have way more outs with unders versus overs. I tend to play more overs than I probably should compared to unders. I always try and look for unders though when I can find them, and this is an under prop that I do like for Wednesday. We're going to take Yves Misi for less than 20.5 points plus rebounds. And then the third and final prop that I like is another points prop. And we're going to go to Clint Capella for 9.5 points. And I like Clint Capella for more than 9.5 points if it's available. It looks like it might have just got taken off the board. It did get taken off the board. So that's really, really annoying. Was going to take Capella for more than 9.5 points. I don't mind some of these other props on Capella, like more than 20.5 PRA. Honestly, I think PRA is something we could look at, but I'm not as confident in that as I was in 9.5 points for Capella. But if you want to take one of these props, PR or PRA, I don't mind these. I think we'll take PRA. I think I'm fine with PRA here for Capella. Let's talk about this prop on Capella and why I like this. I liked him for more than 9.5 points. That got taken off the board, but I think PRA is fine as well. Capella, it's been a struggle lately. You can see over his last few games, but he bounced back last game against Toronto, had 26 PRA. This is a matchup against Denver that I think plays better for Clint Capella. The Hawks typically, when it comes to their center minutes, they're typically going to split the center minutes pretty evenly between Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu. But when the Hawks face bigger centers, guys with size, like Nikola Jokic, for example, typically those are matchups that Capella gets to play more. And if you actually look, since Capella has joined the Hawks, he's played against Nikola Jokic, I believe, 9 times. In the 9 games versus Jokic, Capella has played 19, which he got in foul trouble. The game he played 19 minutes, that was a game he got in foul trouble. That was earlier this season. He still had 20 PRA in only 19 minutes. And then he played 24, 26, 28, 28, 30, 31, 32, 32 minutes. So Capella has played like an average of, I want to say like 26, 27 minutes per game in the 9 games he's played versus Jokic. So I do believe this is a matchup that sets up a little bit more towards Capella to play more compared to Okongwu. And you would think it's kind of a tough matchup because, Nikola Jokic is obviously not the easiest guy to kind of score on, to rebound against. But Jokic has been giving up some bigger stat lines this season. I really don't know why. Maybe it's because Jokic is having to assert so much energy on the offensive end. It's kind of hurting his defense. But this season, the Nuggets have been pretty giving to centers. If you look, they're giving up let's see. I'm going to pull up the stats real quick. So this season, the Nuggets are giving up in terms of points allowed to centers, they are, let's see where they at. They've been about middle of the pack in terms of points allowed to centers, but they're giving up a lot of rebounds to centers. They're giving up the 6th most rebounds to centers, and then assist-wise, they're about middle of the pack when it comes to assist. But if you look at points in the paint allowed, the Nuggets have been giving up a lot of points in the paint, 5th most in the league. So their defense, at least versus centers this year, has not been as strong as it kind of has previously. And Capella has had a lot of success against Jokic in the past. I think weighting, player stats versus a certain team or versus, player versus player can be a little bit, kind of overblown. But when it is a center matchup like this versus a very specific center like Nikola Jokic, I do kind of like to see how a guy performs versus that player. And Capella has played well against Jokic, historically. These are the games he's had versus Jokic, in his career. 22, 10, and 1, 10 and 8, 14 and 13, 15 and 11, 12 and 11, 12 and 11, 14, 8 and 2, 19, 12 and 3. And then this season, in the one game they played against Denver, Capella had he had 9, 10, and 1 in only 19 minutes. So Capella has had a double-double in 7 out of 9 games versus Jokic. One of the games he didn't have a double-double. He was 2 rebounds shy. The other game, he was 1 point shy. So he has performed well in this matchup. His minutes have also been strong in this matchup historically. I like Capella for more than 20.5 PRA here. I think if Capella plays 26, 27 minutes, which I think he might have the upside to do in this matchup, I feel pretty confident about him going over this PRA line, especially with how much Jokic has been giving to centers this year. Jokic hasn't been the same elite defender that he's kind of been previously. We've seen centers do well against the Nuggets this year. Capella's had a lot of success against Jokic in the past. I liked him mostly for 9.5 points. The over on that was a prop that got taken off the board. I think I'm okay with 20.5 PRA as well, though. Just feel like this is a spot where Capella plays a little bit more than Okongwu. And when Capella plays more than Okongwu, typically you can bet on him going over a lot of his projections, including this PRA line of 20.5. So these are the 3 props, guys, that I like for this NBA slate on Wednesday. We're going to take Jordan Poole for more than 18.5 points, Yves Missi for less than 20.5 points plus rebounds, and Clint Capella for more than 20.5 PRA. If you guys are going to tell me on these 3 plays, let's start off the new year right with a 3-0 sweep. Would love to get a 3-0 sweep here. Hopefully we can hit all 3 of these plays, guys, and make some money on this slate. Again, I appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos, supporting the content as always. Hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to go check out Prizepicks, guys. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, use that promo code NOAH. When you sign up, place your first lineup. You'll get $50 in promo funds instantly added to your account once you sign up for Prizepicks and use code NOAH. But good luck as always. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.